Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Pam from Old Hippie Homesteaders. If you don't know me, welcome to our channel. Thank you for watching and subscribing and liking. Today, I'm going to start doing a lime bath to preserve our eggs. Now, over the winter, we really hit bottom with our eggs because the chickens stop laying in the fall because they need to molt. Some people put a light in their pen to keep them producing eggs. We don't do that. We want our chickens to take a breather. Their bodies need to rest. It's fall. It's going into winter, and as all the nature around the chickens, the leaves fall on the trees, things like that. The chickens need to rest also. So I would not suggest putting a light in your chicken coops because they need a break. Their bodies need to heal and just kind of slow down a little bit. So anyway, we had a really bad winter. Blizzard after blizzard after blizzard. It was very bad. I'm not talking inches of rain, I'm talking feet of rain. And I had 13 dozen eggs preserved in lime bath water. We went through every egg. So let me tell you about this. You can't use store-bought eggs with the chicken eggs. I don't know why. Maybe someone out there knows why. You can't use store-bought. You have to have them fresh. You have to have them clean. Don't wash them and scrub them because that takes off their protective coating on the egg. Just use a dry towel. If there's a little bit of dirt or something, just kind of get it off with a dry towel. But do not wash them thoroughly before you put them in the jar. They have to be clean though. They have to be free of cracks, little bites. Nothing. It has to be a perfect egg. Let me show you here. So I've got a turkey egg, and this one's not fertile because we don't have a male, and I have a Maracuna egg. They're clean. They're both laid today. See how clean they are? So there was a little bit like a feather stuck on one. I just pulled it off, okay? You can't use your older eggs. So what you do, it's basically, let me show you the bag here. I'm going to put this bag in the video description. I got it off of Amazon. I'm going to put it in the video description. Other people use different stuff. I just use the powder. See the white? That's all I use. So what you're going to do is get a jar. You don't have to get a big jar. You don't have to get a big bucket. Nothing like that. So the ratio to the powder to the water is 1 quart water, 1 ounce lime powder, okay? 1 ounce is basically a tablespoon, give or take a little, okay? So if you have the big canning jars, you can use that. If you have a big white bucket, 5-gallon bucket, go ahead and use that. If you can fill that up, go ahead and use it. So, but it's basically 1 quart, 1 ounce of powder, okay? So I have, let me readjust this and let me show you what's going on here. Okay. So I just have an artichoke jar. Just clean it out. I've got a little over 1 ounce of the powder because it's more water than I normally use. So you're just going to take the egg carefully, put it in there. Be very careful. Don't drop them. Don't crack them. Don't bang them together. Now, if I get too much water, I'm just going to let it come out. I'm going to get it out with a bowl. Okay. Okay. Now, I make a little tag, and I usually tape it to the lid. So I just take a little piece of paper, I tape it to the lid, I write down the day I started it, which is going to be today, and how many eggs are in there. And that's it. So when you get this full, you see that? When you get this full, or the amount that you like, you stop. You just put another, you find another jar. Now this is an artichoke jar. I prefer the big pickle jars. Our neighbor always gives us the big pickle jars, and I'm out of them. So, but you can use a big canning jar, anything. Let me show you something else over here. Even if you have something like this will work, okay? It doesn't have to be glass. I like it see-through in case something cracks or whatever. But you can use this. You can use the 5-gallon buckets. But make sure that the eggs are fresh. They cannot be store-bought. I can't tell you why. I don't know why. I haven't even looked it up. No cracks, no mud or anything on them. Remember, do not wash them before you put them in the jar. You can wipe them off, but do not immerse them in water to wash them, because that takes the protective coating off of the egg. So, like I said, I start putting my eggs away. Last year I started doing it around July, and by January, we were almost out of eggs. We only had like 1 jar left. Now, when you go to use the eggs, wash them off. You can wash them off. Be careful. You don't want to crack the shell, but you can wash them off. Now, these cannot be hard boiled. Now, take my word for it. I tried it. They do not, you cannot hard boil them. But what you can do is use them in all your recipes, and you can use them to scramble eggs, but you cannot hard boil them. It didn't work out well. It was quite the fiasco. I should have made a video. But anyway, I digress. So if you remember these steps that I told you, you will be able to have eggs all year. So if there's another egg emergency, like they said, and everybody went crazy, you'll have your eggs. Now, I keep this in a closet in my pantry room in the dark. You can keep it on your shelf, away from light, but that's just what I do. And I will put on the tag, I will put number 1, meaning this is the first jar that I've done. So I'm going to, let me get some paper here. Okay, so I'm going to write the date. What is today? I know it's a holiday. It's the, oh good Lord, 29th. Okay, so May 29th, 2023. Lime water. And there's 7 eggs in there already. And this is number 1. Okay. So I'm just going to tape that. You can tape it to the side. I like to tape it to the lid, because if this overflows, your paperwork's going to get wet. That's all you do. So when you add your water and you add the lime powder, stir it around, help it dissolve, but it always comes out looking like this. See the powder at the bottom? Let me see if you can see that even closer here. There we go. See that powder at the bottom? That's what it's going to look like. Now, I don't know all of the scientific things that this lime powder does to preserve your eggs. All I know is that it works. But again, you can't hard boil them. Do not hard boil them. They're used for baking and scrambling. That's it. So, but it works. I've had them up to a year in my pantry. I don't like to go past that. I usually, like I said, I usually start preserving them late summer because I know my chickens are getting ready to poop out, and quit laying. And some days, if we get an overabundance, I will, like I'm starting now, because I already have eggs in the fridge, and I didn't need any more. So, because it's just the two of us, so a dozen eggs in the fridge is more than enough. So anything over a dozen, I start putting them in the jars. So you can put them in there anytime you want, but I just date it. I like to, like I said, I like to do it in the fall, late summer in the fall. That way I'll have eggs all winter long until the spring, until all of our snow goes away and the chickens can start laying really nicely again. This works wonderful. So if you haven't tried it, look into it. I know there's a lot of people that do it. There's a lot of homesteaders that do this. Off the top of my head, there's a homesteader that we're friends on Instagram, Three Rivers Homestead. She does this all the time. She has a beautiful video on it. Everybody, there isn't anybody I don't know that doesn't do this with their eggs. I tried freezing the eggs in the very beginning, cracking them and putting them in the silicone ice trays. That's okay. That's okay. You can, defrost them. It was just a pain. It was a pain because you had to let it defrost. And I didn't like, there was just something different about them when they were frozen. I prefer this way. So, because we're snowed in. We got over 7 feet of snow this year, and we were snowed in. Our equipment broke. It was a minor disaster we had out here, and I couldn't get to the store. And it was the time when there was the egg shortage, supposed egg shortage. So in order for you not to run out of eggs, give this a try. And I will put the link to this powder. It's called Larissa, Larissa, Larissa Pickling Lime Powder. See that? I'll put it in the video description. I hope you like it, and I hope you try it. Your family will be surprised. Your husband will be surprised when you can save him some money on eggs. That's what it's all about. Saving money and doing things the old way. So I hope you enjoyed this. Have a safe weekend. Watch your surroundings. Protect your family. There's some crazy crapola going on right now. So I'm going to put my lid on this. I'll get a piece of tape, stick that to the top, and I'm going to put this in the closet. So thank you for watching, guys, and God bless.